Claude Monet once said, "I perhaps owe it to flowers that I've become a painter." And gardens, of course, were attractive subjects for many Impressionists, but more than any of them, Monet was an obsessive, hands-on gardener, steeped in horticultural knowledge. So Giverny, where he spent the second half of his life, for Monet truly was his own private paradise. It seems so extraordinary that this collection hasn't really been known about. Could you just explain how it has come to be?
Yeah, well, basically the collection itself is being revealed for the very first time to the public. All these works were given by Claude Monet to his son Michel, who in turn gifted them to a woman called Rolande Vernège.
It sounds incredibly intimate and revealing about Monet, the man, as well as the artist.
Exactly. The sale will be comprised of works by the artist himself, but also souvenirs, letters that Signac wrote to him, a watercolor from Rodin, etc., etc.
Monet settled in Giverny in 1883, and he set about transforming the property's south-facing gardens with real gusto. He designed all of these very densely planted beds of decorative flowers and trained roses so that their scent would fill the air. It's very easy to understand why Monet considered this place his most beautiful work of art. Tell me a little bit about this pair of works, because this is a sort of insight, if you like, into an early stage of his career.
Yes, you have right on the left this exquisite water scene by Boudin, who was in fact Monet's mentor.
And so what are we talking? This is sort of 1860s?
Yes, 1860s, 1857 this, so Monet is 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And this is a drawing by Monet a few years later, and mastering the contrast of shadow and light with a great confidence in the line, as you see.
But completely enthralled to Boudin.
Absolutely.
Something else was Japanese prints.
Yes,
one of which we have.
So this is by Hoshige, who was one of the great masters, with a few others, Hokusai, for instance, which are also in the collection. And you immediately see why Monet was fascinated by this art, the angles, the way they crop.
There's a decorative quality and
there's
flatness,
an extraordinary decorative quality.
And also the obsession with the natural world.
Yes, yes.
Which, I mean, you can see all around us here.
Yeah.
In 1893, Monet began an even more ambitious project, creating a water garden with a wooden bridge inspired by Japanese prints spanning a water lily pond. And in the final years of his life, this pond became his principal subject. And in 1909, he showed 48 of his paintings of his water garden in Paris to great acclaim. And these big, poetic, lyrical paintings full of insubstantial effects of light and atmosphere still mesmerize all of us today. These photographs here, they're really quite extraordinary to take you straight back. Mm-hmm. I mean, here, for instance, this is Monet in old age. This is in the specially constructed studio for these de grandes décorations.
Yes. Well, he was reaching the end of his life, so he's in this sort of last great leap of his career.
And these are the works that end up being given to the French state.
Yeah.
And he saw them as what? As war memorials for the First World War, is that?
Yes, exactly. Well, I think it's about life after war, paying tribute to what has motivated Monet throughout his life, which is the beauty of nature. He said himself that he owed it to his own garden, to Giverny, to have become who he was.
I have to ask you about these. Are these Monet specs?
Well, there's all the reasons to believe they are. They came from the family as well. They're contemporary to the model he owned, that he's photographed with. It's testimony to Monet's perseverance. While he was challenged by his eyesight, he continued his work.
And it radically changed as a result.
And it did. You had these vibrant colors. And Cézanne said of Monet that he was only an eye, but my God, what an eye. And so I think this object here encapsulates the magic of the man.